welcome to my Flagstaff home. Today I'm going to show you how to make this really great recipe for pumpkin scones. Now this recipe is made with Amish friendship bread starter. Now before you click away from this video and say I don't have any friendship bread starter, let me just tell you that I've got a place for you to take a look at where it actually teaches you how to starter. I mean, it's got to start somewhere, right? So you can still do this. Anyway, this is just a really tasty recipe. I love scones to begin with. These are not terribly sweet, just a light hint of sweetness, and they definitely just taste like something that you should be eating in the fall. So let's go ahead and go into my kitchen and let's get started.
So this is my bag of Amish friendship bread starter, and all I'm going to need for this recipe is 1 cup for a batch, but I'm going to make a few cups. So I have a pretty large bag full of it because I know I'm going to use a lot of it today. And then the rest of the ingredients include some canned pumpkin, some flour, baking powder, salt, butter, pumpkin pie spice, and an egg. I forgot to mention that baking soda is also in this recipe. So for starters, what I've done is I've taken all of the dry ingredients and I've mixed them together. And then what I'm going to do is use a pastry blender or pastry cutter, and I'm going to cut in the butter. You want it to look kind of coarse and crumbly, and you want it to be cold, so make sure that the butter is cold and not set to come to room temperature. That'll help make better scones. Now I've taken, in this bowl, I've taken the pumpkin, the egg, and the friendship bread starter, and I've mixed it all together, and I'm going to add it to the dry ingredients. Now you'll notice that there's no sugar added in this recipe, and that's because, first of all, the scones are not terribly sweet, but second of all, because the starter that went in here has sugar in it. Not enough to make these really, really sweet scones, but enough to have them be, you know, as sweet as we want them to be. So now I'm going to take this and dump it into this and mix it together. At this point, if you wanted to, you could add raisins or currants to the recipe. I'm not going to add raisins this time. I do sometimes, but I'm not going to do that today. And yeah, so let me go ahead and mix that together. Then I put the dough on a lightly floured cutting board, and then just kind of spread it out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut it now into triangles, and then put the triangles separately onto this cookie sheet I have over here. Of course, I've had my oven preheating to 400 here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I cut them first and put them on there because I like to have all the edges all the way around each scone nice and baked and lightly browned. So let me go ahead and do that. So you can see here that the pieces are all cut apart, and now they're going into the 400-degree oven for 12 to 15 minutes. So these are the scones. Well, I was going to say fresh out of the oven, but oh, a piece broke off. Yum. Okay, so these are the scones. They've cooled down a tiny little bit. Those are pretty good sized scones there. And that would certainly be good for a breakfast. But what I'm also doing, let me show you, is I made another batch, and I cut them into smaller pieces, so they're kind of mini scones, and I'm gonna take them to this potluck. And you know, when there's so much different kind of food available, people don't necessarily want to fill up on just one thing, and so I thought it would be kind of fun to do those mini scones. Now over here, this is the starter I have left. So not a whole lot. I put it in a fresh bag because the other one was kind of getting stuff stuck on the sides. I've made 2 batches now of these scones, and I don't plan to make any more right away, but I don't want to keep going with the starter like you have to when somebody gives you friendship bread starter. The key to this whole thing is that I can take this bag and stick it in my freezer, and it will stop the process, and then when I'm ready to start baking something again, I can remove the starter from the freezer and then go through that process that you go through where you add stuff every few days, squish it up, and then kind of get it all yeasty again. So great little tip there.
So see, that wasn't so bad, and these are just great things that you can have for breakfast. Sometimes I'll heat one up and have it for dessert. It's just a really nice snack to have around, and just that nice warm taste of pumpkin, you know, it just reminds you of fall. So anyway, for the whole recipe of this, click on the coordinating blog post linked in the space below, and it will take you over to my blog where I'll have all the information for you, including the website where you can get your starter for Amish Friendship Bread. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you again. Bye-bye.